Chris, it's Brian Kenny. Congratulations on all the success this year.
Thank you, Brian. Good to be with you this morning.
Good to be with you, too. I don't want to mischaracterize this, but we've seen big money teams. The top three are not in playoff position, even when it seemed like they were going to be very powerful. It's not just spending money. We thought they'd spent it very well. You've also spent money. You've made a lot of acquisitions. What have we learned about spending money to make a team better?
Well, I think that certainly I can't speak to the other teams and their spending, but I can speak to ours. And there was a strategic decision in terms of really the last few years and rebuild process and the way to accelerate our rebuild process through free agency. And, to see that come to fruition this year has been a lot of fun. And there's a lot of work that's gone on to it. A lot of it predated me with my predecessor, John Daniels, and certainly our ownership has been unbelievable in providing the resources. But it's been really neat to see this come together. We've got a great group of guys and certainly a wonderful coaching staff. And Bruce Bochy and his leadership have been tremendous. And look, in terms of our spending, I think that it's put us in a great position to be where we are. But there's a lot of baseball left to play, and we're hopeful that it'll pay off here in the end. Just
seeing the money put out there, I have to follow it. Seager and Semien are having excellent years. Seager's been hurt a lot, but he's slugging .660. What about putting all that money out there? How much, did you feel that risk? 10-year deal, $300 million. How much did you feel?
Yeah, look, and there's only so many ways to access great players, and free agency is one of those. And we're in a market that we should be able to play in free agency from time to time and spend at the top of the market, and that's what we've done. And when you sign players like Corey and Marcus and Jacob and Nate Eovaldi, you're taking some risk, and we understand that. But we also felt like we had a pretty good foundation. We had a good support system in terms of younger players that we're going to be able to balance that risk to some extent. And we were at a point where our franchise needs to take a step forward. We need to win. Our fans deserve a winning team. And I don't think that a market this size should go through a 5, 6, 7-year rebuild. And we chose to take that risk and accelerate it through free agency.
You continued to be in the acquisition business. How did it start and then develop with Max Scherzer and the Mets, or the Mets and Max Scherzer?
Well, and look, it started with just a phone call between me and Billy, and we got on the phone and we're chatting about needs and what it may look like as we got into the weeks of before the deadline. And one conversation led to the next. And when it became clear that the Mets were going to be selling and they would entertain moving Max, we decided that he was somebody that we really liked, that felt we felt like he fit what we needed in terms of not only the pitcher, but the person, the competitor, the experience, the pedigree. And he would elevate everybody on our staff. And he has done that. He's been wonderful since he's been here. We're thrilled that he really took on some risk in waiving a no trade and opting into his 2024 contract to be here and wanting to be here. And we're thrilled he's here.
You also made deals, Jordan Montgomery, Chris Stratton in the bullpen, valuable guy. Aroldis Chapman seems revitalized. Tell me about your level of aggression and keep acquiring pitchers.
Well, look, I've said it before, Brian, and I'll subscribe to it, probably because I'm a former pitcher, but you can never have enough pitching. And we've seen that this year. We've gone through a number of starting pitchers. We've lost some to injury, but we've been able to backfill. And that's something that I think that has been really because of the support of ownership and the resources they've provided. And I think the other thing that needs to be said here is that our guys came out of the gates and put us in a position to be buyers. It was very clear early on that we were going to be buying, and it allowed us to be very aggressive in the market. And I think that the Chapman acquisition was an example of that. And credit goes to the players for the way they've played, the coaching staff for how great they've done in getting these players to get off to the hot start. And then they've continued that here in August as we've got through the deadline.
A lot of your backbone has come from good trades. Jonah Heim, Mitch Garver, both catchers, Nathaniel Lowe, Dane Dunning. Give me something, Chris, that you look for. What do you look at to say, hey, this guy's been a little down or he's been injured. We believe in him going forward.
Well, Brian, I wish I could tell you there's some secret method to all of this. I think that the credit goes to a number of departments within our organization. And it starts with our pro scouting department and understanding these players, the amateur scouting and having a track record with the players on the amateur side. And then certainly our R&D department and understanding, really what makes these players unique. And, I think I would say that we haven't gone into this trying to win any trade. We've just tried to make good trades for the Texas Rangers. And that's something I learned from JD before me. It's about getting the right players for where we are at this moment in time. And there are a lot of different departments that have come together to help us make very good decisions, and it's worked out all right. And we're pretty excited about all these guys. We think they fit who we are as an organization, our identity, our brand of baseball. And we're really excited about the future for each of these too.
Chris, how about in the offseason we come on and I say, what's the secret? And you go, all right, there is a secret. Let me fill you in on it. I'd like that answer once in a while. How about that?
Brian, if I had this figured out, I'd let you know. I can promise you that, but I don't have any of it figured out. I just, we take in as much information as possible and try to choose the right ones.
Well, it's working. And look, we could do a whole segment on Bruce Bochy as well, like his incredible track record, what's happened in 1 year. But congratulations on the success, Chris. Great job. And look, getting one of those top 2 seeds, vitally important. Give me something quickly on that. How important to get a seed, or does that not matter as much in this day and age?
Well, look, I've got to break this down into 2 ways. I mean, one is where we are right now and kind of reflecting on where we were when we came into the season. And I think that our expectation was to compete for the postseason. We've obviously played our way to the top of the standings. This group has been phenomenal. And I place no limits on when you get the right group of guys in terms of what they can accomplish. But very realistically, our division is super tough. I mean, Houston is unbelievable. They're the defending World Series champions. They deserve all the credit in the world. Seattle is right there too. Their pitching is unbelievable. Their offense is getting hot. We recognize this is not going to be easy. It's going to be a fun rest of August and September here. And we love our team. We love our group, but we've got a lot of baseball left to play, and we want to continue to play our best.
Well, you're bulked up and ready. Chris Young, again, Texas Rangers. Thank you, Chris. Again, congrats, and we'll see you down the line.
Thanks for having me, guys.